Welcome to the Heart of a Viking. These art lessons are taught by Mrs. Minto from the Cape Henlopen School District in Delaware. I hope you have fun, create imaginative works of art, and make sure you share them with someone because, after all, the visual arts are meant to be seen. Hello, Cape artists, and welcome back to another episode of the Heart of a Viking. In the episodes this week, we're not only going to be traveling to Africa, but we're also creating works of art from recycled or repurposed items in honor of Earth Week. So our project today brings us to South Africa and introduces us to a group of people called the Ndebele people. This group of people have a very long, colorful history. Just wait until you see how they paint their houses. Additionally, they create the most beautiful beaded adornments like wraps and necklaces and full skirts. It's just beautiful. This beaded tradition is the inspiration for our lesson today. So we're going to be using magazine pages because they're colorful and we want to repurpose something from around our house that would normally be thrown away in honor of Earth Week. So let's see how we can create these beautiful and functional, that means you can use it, works of art. Ndebele art has always been an important identifying characteristic of the Ndebele people. Apart from its aesthetic appeal, it has a cultural significance too. The Ndebele's essential artistic skill has always been understood to be the ability to combine exterior sources of simulation with traditional design concepts borrowed from their ancestors. Ndebele artists also demonstrate a fascination with the linear quality of elements in their environment, and this is depicted in their artwork. Painting on houses has always been done freehand without prior laying things out, although the designs were planned beforehand. Additionally, beads play a huge part in the Ndebele community. Meanings behind African beads include pride, beauty, culture, power, and identity. In 2004, archaeologists with the Blombos Cave Project found small shells strung together in an African cave and dated them back more than 75,000 years. At one point, African beads were used as currency. In the 18th and 19th century, millions of colored shell beads were shipped from European countries to Africa in exchange for slaves. Beadwork and wall paintings in Ndebele communities have evolved over time and have a long history. Different kinds of beaded adornments convey different messages of social meanings, such as stages of growth from childhood to adulthood. For example, blankets commonly worn by Ndebele women have different beads distinguishing married women from older women. Beadwork has a secret meaning to the insider who can distinguish and decode it. Additionally, beaded adornments serve as cultural purposes in different traditional ceremonies. Beadwork is very intricate and very time-consuming, and it requires a deft hand and good eyesight. This pastime has been a social practice in which women engaged in after their chores were finished, but today, many projects involve the production of these items for sale to the public. Before you begin gathering your supplies, I wanted to remind you that I often speed up the timing of my videos so that you aren't just sitting and watching me create, but instead you're getting the information that you need and then you can begin yourself. Making the beads today will take a little while. Your fingers will get sticky, your patience might get tried, so just remember to be patient with yourself. In the end, you'll have a lovely piece of handmade jewelry that you can wear or you can give it to someone else. Remember, Mother's Day isn't too far away. Alright, now that we have all that awesome historical information, we can get ready to begin our handmade recycled paper beaded project. Let's see what we need. First, we're going to be needing a ruler or some sort of straight edge. We'll be needing a magazine that your grown-ups don't mind you cutting pages out of. Some scissors. A paintbrush, but not for painting. Instead, we're going to use the other end to wrap our beads around. We'll need a pen. A pencil works okay too, but a pen's better this time. And then maybe some thin ribbon or a pipe cleaner. I would say pipe cleaner works best, but if you don't have it, some kind of thin ribbon would work. And then some glue. I actually have my glue left over from yesterday's project, which is a little bit of glue mixed with a little bit of water, but regular glue would work fine too. Alright, so we're going to open up the magazine and find a page that has a lot of color, like this one. Going to line up my ruler on the one side, trace the other side, perfect, and then cut on that line. The goal is to make a long strip. Now, using my paintbrush, flip my paper over and roll all the way until you get to the top. However, on this one, I realized when I got to the top, there was a big white section, and I really didn't like that, so I actually cut that white off so that it ended with blue. Then, a little bit of glue on the end there, wrap it around, and if you get too much glue on your fingers, you can have a little rag beside you to wipe them off. And then I'm going to repeat that again. Use my roller, cut a strip. This time I want it to be skinnier, so I'm going to cut my strip in half before I start and get rid of that white part I didn't like. And then all the way roll it up. A little glue on that end. Roll it over, hold it until it sticks. Slide it off. And again. Alright, so this time we're going to make a different style. So I'm going to still cut my little strip, but this time before I start, I'm going to make a diagonal line that goes from the top left corner to the bottom right, and then cut that. This creates a triangle piece of paper that when I roll it, it ends up rolling a little differently. You can see the different layers as it rolls up. When I set it down next to the other ones, you can definitely see the difference. And then I'm going to make the other one because that time I always get two. Oh, see, I messed up too. I had rolled it backwards, so I had to take it off and do it again. Okay, and now while I love that blue page, I wanted some other colors to mix in. So I'm going to choose a page that has a different color. Here's a cool green one. And I'm going to repeat those same steps. Flip it over, draw my lines, cut my strips, and roll my beads. If you're trying to make one bracelet, you should try to create at least 12 beads. That should be enough to go around your wrist one time. Okay, so this is going to be my last bead, and now I need to start thinking about getting all of my beads together and which type of bracelet making device I'm going to be using. Will I use the pipe cleaner or some ribbon, whichever one I was able to find? Then I can make a fun pattern of my different beads. Sometimes I pick a long one, sometimes I pick a short one, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's green, and I'm going to just fill up my pipe cleaner here. Okay, and then once it's all filled up, I'm going to hold it and measure it on my hand or whoever's hand I'm making this for, and I realize I made mine far too big. So I'm actually going to take off some of these and replace them with some smaller beads. I'm glad I made some smaller ones. Now let's test it. Much better. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and twist that pipe cleaner together. And then I'll cut off those long extra pieces. And once they're all twisted together, go ahead and trim off the pieces if they're too long. And I'm actually going to mess with mine a little bit here and see if I can push the sharp edges underneath of one of the beads without ripping the bead. If you can do that too, that might be a good idea. If not, then you just have to be careful on that sharp edges of the pipe cleaner. There, I was able to get mine. So now I'm going to make another one using the ribbon just so you can see what it looks like. With the ribbon, I leave a lot of extra. So this was way too long to make a bracelet for myself, but I need extra because I need to be able to tie a knot. All right, so here I go, just putting some beads on. I'll measure it, need a few more. Okay, so now this time I'm going to make a knot using both pieces of my ribbon. If you need an art assistant to help you out with that, I'm sure there's a grown-up or an older brother or sister that can help out with that. And when I put this one on, I realized I put the knot up too high and it was too large. So I'm going to make a second knot, and now it fits perfect. And there you have it, your beautiful recycled beaded bracelet. And also, if you have a few extra beads like I do, you can always make a bracelet for someone else. They would love it, I'm sure. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you back here next time at the Heart. Wait a second, did you notice I was able to make 3 pieces of jewelry from the beads that I made? And I even added a few of those little plastic pony beads to my necklace just to add some visual and color interest. Of a Viking HOB artist. Don't forget to hop on over to Artsonia to upload a photograph of your piece of artwork to your art portfolio. I can't wait to see it.